Hey everyone, it's Raftcraft Minecraft. Welcome back again to another part of the HMS Hood building. Today, what we're going to do is build the guns, and we are also going to shape the pagoda mass and the bridge. So I hope everyone is going to watch this because, as I've said before, every upload I do, every stream I do is going to become an upload. So when this is finished, everything will be uploaded into the videos that I've edited from the raw footage to the edited version. So I hope everyone is doing well, and let's go build this together. Please take note that I'm not going to talk as much as I would while I'm doing this, so that it doesn't become a distraction to me while I'm also talking to every one of you guys. And I hope everyone again once more understands. And yes, I may talk pretty much a lot, but nonetheless, I do it because I'm trying to also get my boost in my confidence in myself. Sure, maybe my words are a bit off, and maybe they don't sound like uh they have any meaning or so. But what I'm doing is for the sake of myself being seen. Yes. There we go. Finally finished. Just as I've done with the other side, I'm going to reveal it once more, how it looks like, slowly but surely. There's 3x1s, as you can see, same as the one we did from the upper portion, but it's not 2x1s. Going all the way to the back, reaching until another 2x1, somewhere at the rear end, and finally the stern. Now if you take a closer look at the big difference, you could see the hull is not that round, it is not that bulged, it's not that big, it's not that bloated from the other side. It looks round. Why? Because we followed the same pattern as what we did to the stern. Now that that's done, and now that's out of the way, we're going to put the barbettes. What's a barbette? It's the placement of the gun. And it's very important for every ship to have a barbette, because that's where they place the gun's layout. It has mechanisms, it has everything from interior to exterior, it even has a loading system and a feed loading system. So I'm going to build that right here, starting off with very few blocks on each end. On to the next part would be, we're just going to cover that entire thing up from here, so that we now have our first barbette on top of hood, of course. Take note, if the circle is too big, or should I say if the barbette circle is too big, you can always chop it in little bits and little size so that it doesn't look super large. Just a suggestion from me, of course, because it depends if the gun that you're building is big or small. It's also depending on how large your barbette is supposed to be. Example, what I'm doing right now. Not exactly as I thought it should be, but this is already good enough, especially for an HMS Hood gun. If I can, I think I can make it a little more squarish at the very end. Let's see. I'm just making sure this is not super big, since of course measurement, block measurement. It's a necessity. It's necessary. There we go. I think that's much better since we had to lower the height and the gun of the hood wouldn't be too large, of course. Now we're going to do the same, except we're going to now connect this from over here. Since we've connected that, since we've already connected this, we're going to remove this. Since the guns of the hood are a bit far, yes, that's the most accurate position I can place the guns on, since the guns are a little far, or a little further. Alright, well that does it for that. Now that we have our gun finally fixed and complete, we will do the same for the back area. Same as the one we did before, except it's going to be at the very, very bottom end. Let's see how far is that bar bit supposed to be, but we are also going to make sure we are measuring this by height and proper length, because this is also, because this area, I'm not sure if this is actually the correct proportion on how long the lower floor is supposed to be, because the upper part is already very long, telling by the height of hood and the length of hood itself alone. The lower area is also long, but it's also, yes, it's going to be a bit challenging because the gun length of this, yes, the gun length of this is going to be quite it's going to deteriorate a lot of effort, because of course you have to make adjustments, and you also have to make sure that the building is actually historically accurate enough to look like it's in the right spot and in the right place. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's see if that is going to fit with this one. I guess I'd say the guns are actually... I guess I should say that's how it looks. Now we'll just remove this, since we've already done our guns, and continue on with the next part of the gun building. Mm-hmm. Yep, there we go. It's nice actually having to talk to most of you guys and to those who are watching my upload. It's really nice to have a company who watches me, even though there are few people. I'm just gonna say it because I just like saying it, and it makes me happy as a person. Something so small that I do that people really appreciate, it's something so big that I will really be thankful of in the end of the day. Alright, all the guns are done, and seeing them all differently placed, I could see why the front of turret A and B are much higher, because they are elevated due to the bow's upper portion, while the stern pretty much the same, except they were elevated lower to become almost sea level in this case. Almost touching the ocean, or should I say almost touching the water. But yeah, so far the gun placement that I did here is very good, and she does look like the actual Hood herself, seeing it from here, of course. Okay, now with that done, let's modify the mass a bit, or should I say the bridge area. And let's put the pagoda mass as well, and I mean the layer of the pagoda mass, a layer portion of the pagoda mass. And yeah, it's actually correct. The Hood's not actually that. The Hood's guns are supposedly in this area. I guess it makes sense. Right now it's just a bunch of guns, and that's okay. Let's pick up the map and see how much progress we've done today. Ooh, covering the entire thing, I see. This is actually looking like the actual pagoda mass and the bridge of the HMS Hood. But you know how hard this building is, because detail by detail, you must get them correct, and you must make them look like they're the actual size, the actual height, and you have to make sure every part of the HMS Hood is correct. Otherwise, she wouldn't look like the actual battle cruiser herself. Let me check more proportions of the HMS Hood in case. After completing the last parts of the layout here, we're going to stop and end there because it is almost time for me to go. Just hoping the building is not too tall in this case. It's actually very acceptable because I didn't know that the bridge area was unexpectedly tall as this. I could be wrong because looking at from overview, it looks a little flatter than the gun's height. But when I look at it now, yes, it is exceptionally super tall for a elevated mass. I could see why the hood really sunk. And I'm not going to say anything controversial about the sinking of the HMS Hood, because that would bring up some controversial things, especially controversial topics I don't want to get involved in. Personally, for me, she was a great battle cruiser in the end. Even though she did not see the service much, she was still a great battle cruiser to the end of the day. But then again, that's my point of view. Don't make fun of a single ship, especially if she is so highly talked about. I don't want to hear anyone trying to talk trash about one ship I like, like Aizen Yamato, who sunk in Okinawa. That may have been a big mistake for her being a big target because she is a battleship and carrier, or should I say air dominance, is now taking over. But when you come to think of it, if a carrier is not near nowhere near safe by guns, guns would go all blazing towards one carrier alone. Highly as efficient as it is with guns, because guns can even deplete an entire armored plate of a single carrier, a destroyer, a cruiser, even other battleships, depending on how you maintain them and how you use them, and especially how great the crew in experience on doing engineering on maintaining damages. The one thing you must know is never underestimate the power of guns, no matter how small the caliber or how large they are. Guns will always be so fierce even at its size alone, its sheer size alone. And that's one that people must take literal. I think that this is correct, telling by the height of the superstructure alone, and the bridge of it, the bridge alone also by height. But yes, because I can do the wood part as the very last, portion of, as the very last proportion of the ship, since the rest of the area is going to be covered up with lots and lots of things. And since there's a giant gap underneath this ship. I think I mainly need to build a interior a bit only, with some lighting, with some things around here and there. Yes, I need to build that. There we go. So it's not too wide underneath. We're going to do the same here too. Hoping the Hood's pagoda mast actually fits here, especially the dual mount, especially the double smokestack that I'm going to be building. This is going to take this is going to be fun, and this is also going to take some this is going to also be time consuming, telling by how much it's going to be done. And there you have it, the entire thing finally finished head to toe. Well, not completely finished yet, but the entire layout from head to toe. Just a small sample of how it's going to look like from upper and lower portion of the ship. Yes, by far looking really nice, looking really good. And so far I think we've made so much progress throughout this entire building. Now that we've done most of this, I now know where I can finally put the fences. It's just amazing. I don't know why. But the effort I did here alone, I'm proud of it. So let's see that from top to bottom once more. Alright, to everyone here who's actually watching this video, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for watching this entire video, because this was not as time consuming as I did during the hull structure. It was still very complicated to do the hull structure from bow to stern, but nonetheless we still made it, and you can see the progress from the entire HMS Hood. As I've showed you earlier, it's looking like the actual ship herself. So I'm very happy to everyone who have joined here, who watched me and who enjoyed looking at my stream and viewing it and seeing it, especially to the organic viewers who are watching. I will give you an applause for that once more, for joining me in this lovely video of part 3 of building the HMS Hood. So make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you once again in the next video. This is your host, your builder, your teacher, aka Raffcraft Minecraft. Have a nice day, have a nice night, and see you again.